Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP community. Appreciate you guys as always. Let's waste no more time and take a look at what's happening with XRP today, because we're seeing a lot of exciting stuff happening right now. So tune in till the end. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button and come join the Crypto ZX army. But looking across the board, guys, boy, is it looking amazing. We're seeing a lot of excitement within the crypto markets. And of course, if you're looking at it on a weekly time frame, there's no secret about that. So, once again, XRP is up, 1.6% in USD, also up 1.9% in Bitcoin comparative. Market cap slowly but surely approaching the $140 billion. And the 24-hour trading volume is sitting at a staggering $6 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, just in, $10 trillion asset manager BlackRock meets with the SEC Crypto Task Force to discuss staking, options, tokenization, and ETF approval standards. And we are going to see BlackRock come in and start, filing for multiple different assets. And I think, it's coming. They're aware that it's not just Bitcoin and ETH. They're aware that it's other digital assets, and they want, I'm sure, the piece of the pie. And once the likes of Fidelity and BlackRock comes in the picture, I think, this is where things really start getting serious. And I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. We've been discussing this for quite some time on the channel, and I think we are getting closer and closer to that happening. So moving forward, Swiss president says US and China are holding trade talks in Switzerland. And of course, if there is some sort of an agreement coming from, two of arguably the biggest nations across the globe, this is going to be very interesting because, of course, tariffs, no one really wants that happening. And, when you do see these two countries coming in together and come up with some sort of a settlement, it is going to be bullish. So very, very exciting stuff. Moving forward, look at this. And also, let's going back to this. Remember, Donald Trump came out and said just 2 days back, which really also had a positive impact on, the crypto markets, where he said, this is the time to be buying stocks. So is he aware that there is a potential settlement that could be in place where, they do come up with some sort of an agreement? And I've been speaking, as far as tariffs are concerned, if you've been following my channel, I've been talking about, you need to come up with some sort of a resolution. And are they aware of that? Because if that is the case, market is going to react in a positive way, in my opinion. Look at this, in 1 minute, Lauren, Ripple's global co-head of policy, explains why proactive engagement and education with regulators and policymakers in Washington, D.C. and globally is essential to building a smart, responsible framework for crypto innovation. And it's happening right now, and Ripple is at the forefront. Remember the way they launched RLUSD as well. They wanted that regulatory, approval, and they've been trying to, take crypto towards mass adoption. And they focus on the compliance aspect as well, understanding why compliance is so important. And I think this is going to help them a lot in the very near future. So, that is that. And speaking about big institutions coming in, Goldman Sachs disclosed owning $1.65 billion in spot Bitcoin ETFs. Let's kind of go back in time. And back in time, when it came down to Bitcoin and, the likes of Goldman Sachs or, some of these big entities, they never really wanted to hear about this asset class. And now they're coming in at a record level. So, this is quite an interesting one to, keep in mind. And look at this. Chad also says, those new BlackRock crypto ETFs are coming. And I could not agree more. Something I've been signaling on my channel for such a long time. We've been speculating upon that, and I think, we are getting closer and closer to that. Look at this. Wellgistics Health business model. Florida pharmacy distributor Wellgistics announces a new initiative to pioneer the use of XRP as both the treasury reserves and real-time payment infrastructure, would make Wellgistics among the first public traded healthcare companies to deploy XRP in this manner. And how we're starting to see this become norm, where you see Bitcoin being held by a lot of entities, obviously the Bitcoin ETFs. I think, when XRP launches, that is going to happen with that as well. But now let's talk about the price. That's what we're going to be discussing. What's really happening with the price here, and of course, what we could be expecting. So if you're looking at the dominance here, dominance has been pulling sharply, as we can see this for ourselves. This is a really, really good sign. We went from 65.5% down to 63.4%. We're looking at about a 2% decrease, while Bitcoin pretty much stayed stagnant around where it is. If you understand the way dominance works and you understand the correlation it has to Bitcoin and altcoins, you know that it's no secret at this point why we're seeing tremendous amount of green across the crypto markets. But look at XRP here. XRP has broken out. We went up to $2.45. Like I said, thanks to the dominance, we are retesting levels we haven't seen since March 26th. As I've stated to you guys before hundreds of times, 23.6 is a level to be looking out for. And the fact that, we did break out of this key resistance, even though now we're being supported by that key resistance. Now it has turned into support. This wick was all we needed because now that we have broken out, I am anticipating that it's going to fill that wick and start heading towards the 23.6. If you're looking at it on an hourly perspective, look at it. We broke out to the $2.42. Now we're being supported by that exact range. So loving what I'm seeing here. Thank you for all your support. What are your personal predictions on XRP? Where do you see the price of XRP going? What's your projection in terms of where XRP is going to close off the year of 2025? Do let me know in the comments down below. You guys are amazing. You guys show tremendous amount of love, and let's just say, it does not go unnoticed. Continue supporting, and your boy Crypto ZX has you covered with these daily updates. Love you all. See you later, Crypto ZX, and peace.